The 1950s were a time when many women didn't have careers and very few were stand-up comics. A new show on Amazon Prime Video takes a look at what might have happened if a woman's husband leaves her and she takes a shot at a career in comedy. Star of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Rachel Brosnahan, is here to tell us all about it. Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. So, of course, we'll talk about this amazing role that you've scored, but I heard that you kind of had a little bit of trouble when you went to audition for it. It didn't exactly go as planned with how you were feeling. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I had arguably the worst flu I've ever had in my life, but I rallied. I didn't want to miss the opportunity, and I flew out to LA. I was sweaty and snotty and all kinds of disgusting, but it worked out okay because here we are.
Right. You definitely rallied, and we know you from House of Cards, and you said it was sort of maybe tough for you to switch to comedy. What has it been like? Has it been a little easier than you might have thought?
No, comedy is so much harder than drama, and drama can be difficult, but whew, man, I bow down to comedians, to stand-ups. It's tough, but it's been a really exciting journey. It's something I've never done before, and as an actor, that's the dream.
Right. You know, a lot of people fear public speaking. I can't imagine what it would be like to stand in front of people and tell jokes. And of course, when you're acting, is it any easier, or is it still sort of like you're doing stand-up, or what's that like?
No, it's definitely easier. I'm playing a character. I'm not having to put myself and my self-worth on the line in that same way. I'm also doing it in a really controlled environment. If I screw up a joke, we get to do it 12 more times until I get it right. That's not the case in front of a live audience. I can't claim to have ever done stand-up, having worked on this show. I am an actor through and through, but it's been cool to pretend to be one on TV.
Right, and a great actor, and there's so many dimensions to your character, one could say. What would you say you draw on, and what's your influence when you play Mrs. Maisel?
There's a few different influences for me. I did a lot of research about the comedy scene in the 1950s. I looked towards pioneering comics like Joan Rivers and Phyllis Diller, Moms Mabley, Lenny Bruce, Don Rickles. I also drew inspiration from a few different women that I have known and loved in my life. And lastly, there's little pieces borrowed from my dear, no longer with us, but fabulous grandmother June.
Wonderful. And so let's talk about working with Amy Sherman Palladino. What was that like?
It was extraordinary. This is a show that has been created, written, directed, produced by an extraordinary woman and an extraordinary man who loves extraordinary women about an extraordinary woman. And Amy runs a really tight ship. She has a crystal clear vision, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. She's been so supportive and fun and funny. It's been a blast.
Well, and it's no doubt, we live in a very tumultuous time. And what do you think people should take away from this? Mrs. Maisel being a very strong, independent woman, what should people, maybe specifically women, what should they take away from this?
I think there's a lot of takeaways from this show, but one that always sticks with me is that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. It's never too late to ask questions, to find a voice that you didn't know you had.
I love that. It's definitely going to be the message for a lot of people. Congratulations on the great role, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel premieres today on Amazon Prime Video. And to learn more, visit amazon.com/Maisel, or to sign up for a free trial, log on to amazon.com/Prime and stay right where you are. We'll be right back.